Hello, everybody. Welcome back to the Monster Mash. So to start off, it's kind of obvious now that I'm recording in ultra wide. You can see me kind of moving my stuff back and forth because I wanted to show. I want to do this thing, or I'm doing this thing where I show my gear at the beginning of a video, and I want to make sure that that gear is like consistent throughout the video, just so you know exactly what I'm using and exactly what I'm like working with and all that stuff. And I made Pismo into the Mega Man. Um, yeah, a significant improvement to my Lance build since last time. Azure Rathalos Lance to hunt some Legiana. This footage was recorded a while ago, so I actually don't remember what I was grinding for in this quest. I'm pretty sure I wanted the Legiana Lance, which I'm pretty sure I have now. Yeah, I've got a lance for every major element. I don't think I have a. No, I do. I have the Basil Goose one. So yeah, a significant improvement to my lance build since last time. So right now we're just seeing the fruits of my labor, and I got the Wiggler hat. That's the layered Wiggler hat, not the one that gives you wide range. So, as you saw in my build, I'm not wearing the actual Wiggler hat. It's just the layered stuff. Anyway, a minute and a half. What the fuck are we talking about today? I wanted to tell a little bit of a story. Oh, real quick. Just watch me completely fuck up this wall bash. God damn. Okay. So, a little bit of a story that happened kind of recently. As of recording this video, it's been a few days. But it's something that I'm not really struggling with, and it's not really like a bad thing. It's just something that I've noticed that has been standing out to me. I guess the older I get. Okay, so full transparency, I work at a coffee shop at current moment, at time of recording, whatever. And working at a coffee shop, not Starbucks, it's like a mom and pop place. Uh, uh, Working at a coffee shop means that the barrier to entry is pretty low. So I work with a lot of teenagers. And, well, not teenagers, like 18, 19 year olds, right? Like, just getting into adulthood, right? And, frequently, when I'm talking with these people about things that they enjoy, I have often never heard of those things that they're talking about, and they have never heard of the things that I enjoy. Like, no one at work knows what Bionicle is, for example, which is a goddamn travesty, but whatever. You win some, you lose some. Um, this specific story is a few days ago at the time of recording. I'm working with two 19-year-old coworkers. We're gonna call them Michael and Layla for the sake of this video, because I don't want to give out their real names. So Michael is about 18, Layla is about 18, 19, whatever. And we started talking about music. The concept, the topic of music came up, and me being me, I have extremely out there taste in music, like pretty eclectic taste in music. Hold on, where's my phone actually? Okay, just as a baseline, just as a starter, I don't use Spotify, and they think that's weird. It just goes to show people's reliance on these like cloud technologies. I'm getting ahead of myself. So I don't use Spotify. They think that that's weird. And then I start listing off the artists that I listen to that I have, because for my music thing, my dad and I run a Plex server, and we have all of our music saved on our Plex server, and I have an app that lets me fucking download that and run that without being online, and yada yada yada. It's a really cool system that we've developed, which I'm totally gonna make my own system whenever I move out. So let me start listing off some of these artists. I've got Too Mellow, I've got Alien Weaponry, Buckethead, obviously, C418, Cassiopeia, Home, Logic, Oscob, OSCOB, the Piche Studio Set, if you know it, you know it. Pilot Red Sun, I bought one of his albums. Red Vox, which is the band that Vinesauce is in, Vinny Vinesauce, Rush, obviously, Tyler the Creator, oh god, what was his name? DJ Roswell, and the soundtrack to the Wii game Mad World. So, pretty eclectic. You got some rap, you got some lo-fi, got some free-flowing jazz, you've got some avant-garde, some metal, some pop, some oh, and I just completely passed over Pink Floyd. So you've got some, like, it's a pretty eclectic taste, all things considered, right? And I don't want this to come off as me being like, ooh, you know, I'm one of the fucking quirky, I'm not like other girls, I listen to weird music, woo. Not even including all the other weird music that I listen to. Like, if you know, like, here, okay, if you've never heard of this before, I want you to stop this video, pause it for right now, and I want you to listen to the song Hell by Clowncore. Trust me, you will be fucking reeling with laughter after you listen to that song. It is... That Clowncore is one of my favorite fucking bands. Not even a band, there's just the fucking musicians. They're so goddamn funny as Clowncore. So good, and they're actually really good at music. So good that my dad and I have started branching out into their solo projects. And I'm getting sidetracked again. Fuck. So I list off these bands, and I list off the artists that I'm interested in, and obviously the 18-year-olds don't know who any of my favorite musicians are. They know Tyler, right? And I'm gonna be perfectly honest, I don't really fuck with Tyler a whole lot. The only album that I've listened to by him is Igor, which a lot of people were saying was like his favorite fucking, like his best album, their favorite album. It's 1 a.m. right now, can you tell? And honestly, so I did a little bit of branching out. Fuck, I'm getting sidetracked again. Damn it, I want to finish this fucking story. So they don't know any of the musicians that I list off, aside from like Tyler and maybe Logic. I think they knew Logic. They start listing some. So we have a speaker in the coffee shop that we connect to and play a little bit of music. I keep things pretty straight-faced and pretty safe because I recognize that the coffee shop has like a reputation to uphold, you know, and if I fuck that up for my boss, that's going to be a bad thing. So I mainly stick with instrumental, lo-fi, techno kind of things, which is why I have Pilot Red Sun and Home and a few other like ambient music, you know, music that's meant to fade into the background. I also play a little bit of Minecraft music in there because unironically the Minecraft soundtrack is really fucking good. The C418 chunk of the soundtrack. The other artists they also done a really good job, but like I don't know, man, you can't beat C418. So yeah, they what did I even fucking call this guy? Michael. That's the fake name I gave him. Michael connects. This is after we've like shut the building down and like we're closing, because that's what I do. I close. We lock the door. There are no customers, so we can just play whatever the fuck we want, right? And Michael takes the aux. It's a Bluetooth connection, but for the sake of the story, he takes the aux and he starts playing. And he's like, oh, Cam, have you heard of this song? And I'm like, nah, who the fuck is this? And he says a name. I've forgotten the name. And he's like, what? How have you never fucking heard this before? And I'm like, bro, I told you. And I told him specifically, I guarantee you, anybody you name, there's like a 90% chance I've never heard their music before. And he didn't believe me. Sure enough, any of the musicians he listed, I just never fucking heard of. Which, you know, is whatever. This whole roundabout thing to get to is the fact that I'm not very connected to things. I never have been. Anytime I was like really connected to like world news, for example, or politics, or even something as mundane as just knowing what my favorite creators are up to. Anytime I've been like connected to things, it's always been detrimental to my mental health. And this whole story is leading up to them saying, wow, Cameron, you live under a rock. And I turn to them and I go, yeah, and I'm much happier because of it. It's no secret that I don't use Twitter anymore. I rarely go on Reddit. If I do, it's like solely for like tech tips. You know, like trying to fix something on Linux. There's going to be some post on Reddit somewhere that's going to help me solve my problem. Aside from that, I don't go on Reddit anymore. I'm really trying to cut back on my YouTube intake, I guess. I'm really trying to cut back on that shit. It's difficult, right? And I still get that like reflex to check my phone and check my social medias, even though I don't have any social medias installed on my fucking phone anymore. Whatever. It's yeah. I'm trying to like distance myself from that connectivity. I'm trying to distance myself from like constantly knowing everything and constantly being connected to shit, because it's just not good for me. There are some people who can totally handle that much information flowing into their system. There's people out there who are on that shit and they know what's going on and they know who's who, they know what's what, and you know what? If they can handle it, great for them. I personally cannot handle that, so I just don't do it, right? You know, part of you would think that me being me and doing the thing that I'm doing right now, that I would be fairly connected, because, you know, I'm a YouTuber. You kinda have to be connected to social media to do this YouTube stuff. And my response to that is yes, but also I don't care. I get recommendations from people, because, okay, recommendations is the polite way of putting it. The impolite way of putting it is they're trying to tell me how to run my channel. I know they don't mean it like that, at least the people that I hear this stuff from. But friends and acquaintances and family, they've all said like, oh, you know, you should do a video about this or a video about that. And most of the time, it's just content that they want to see, which totally is fair. It's totally fair. Right? If you're talking to someone who has the ability to create something, of course you're going to recommend them to make something that you personally want to watch, even if they don't want to do it. Big key example is this was back when Jedi Outcast, Jedi Survivor, the Dark Souls Jedi game, not the new one that's the fucking abhorrent PC port, the one that came out a few years ago. When that game came out. No, it was fucking Jedi Starfighter. Goddamn. I'm getting all my I'm not a fan of Star Wars, can you tell? So when Jedi Starfighter came out, a good friend of mine and a production partner, I guess, we've worked on like production projects together. He was telling me, hey man, I know you're doing this stream, because we were talking at like a party or something that him and his brother were hosting, and the topic of like doing content came up. And he looked at me and he's like, yeah, bro, you know, you gotta be on the popular games and you gotta play what's hot and what's fresh, otherwise people aren't going to discover you. Here I am on a channel with less than 100 subscribers playing not even the latest Monster Hunter game and talking about my fucking personal life. And you people seem to fucking enjoy it, so hey, you know, I guess that just goes to show. But that was his advice, and he said that like, oh, you should be like on top of things and understand what's popular and understand what's hot, so you can strike while the iron's hot. And I'm like, I mean, you're not wrong. That is definitely a strategy that has worked for a lot of people, but it's not what I want to do, you know. And then I have people like my dad, who, God, I fucked that up again too. I'm watching the footage while I'm recording this. And then I have people like my dad, who really likes videos on old technology. I guarantee you, if my dad had the will, if my dad had the energy and the time to do YouTube, he would absolutely be on that retro tech hype train. He would be buying fucking ThinkPads and VHS players and Pentium 2s off of eBay, and he would be making mountains of content about that. Which actually sounds fucking hilarious now that I think about it, knowing my dad. But he recommends to me that I make those kinds of videos. Again, it's the kind of thing that he wants to see. It makes sense, you know? All of this to say that I live kind of in my own world, and that's kind of what's worked for me over the past 20-ish years of me being alive. I've always been introverted. Oh, wow, the fucking content creator who plays Monster Hunter and talks to himself, you know, ooh, he's an introvert. Who would have fucking thought, right? I actually get some funny looks about, I get some funny looks from people, especially at work, when I say that I'm like extremely introverted and I hate going to parties and everything. Because when I'm at work and I'm handling, when I'm talking with customers and everything, I'm pretty outspoken and I'm pretty loud and entertaining and I like giving them a show, you know? And so they just see that part of me. They don't see this part of me. Well, actually, maybe a couple would. Hi, Devin, if you're watching this. You're probably not. Yeah, so they always see the part of me that's like really loud and outspoken and can like really fucking rattle a room with how loud his voice can get. I have a funny story about that. I might tell it today. I don't know if I have time, but we'll see. So they don't see like this more quiet, reserved side of me, or at least if they do see it, they don't really make a mental note of it because it's not something that you remember. You know, you don't remember the quiet moments that much. You know, especially if you're in like a high stress environment like a coffee shop. You're gonna remember the loud outbursts. You're gonna remember the big moments. You know. What was the fucking point of this video? Yeah, people are surprised when I say that I'm like extremely introverted and I get nervous around people very easily. So yeah, being like connected to everything, it doesn't work with me very well. As you know, okay, I do have YouTuber friends and we do talk occasionally. I'm really fucking bad at like reaching out to people. And you know what's really bad, actually? We're going to tangent here for a second. You know what I'm extremely bad at? I'm extremely bad at talking about the things that I do. This is actually kind of another story. There's a regular who comes in. I'm not going to say his real name. We'll just call him fucking Mario. I don't know. I think I don't know where he's from, but he has an accent. So we're just going to call him Mario. And he's chill. He comes in pretty regularly, and he always orders the same thing. And we were talking, and he does vehicle concept art, not concept art, but he does like engineer work, not engineer work. He draws concept arts of cars and talks about the design of cars and vehicles and stuff like that. And his art is actually really fucking good too. Like he was showing us some examples of his work, and it was great. Not gonna lie. And I'm like, well, you know, maybe I should talk about my stuff because I just finished my demo reel, right? And I show him my editing demo reel, which you can watch on the main channel. You know, they're impressed, I guess. And they talk about, you know, and they start talking to me about the video production stuff. One of them actually wants me to edit videos for her TikTok, which is like hilarious, but you know, whatever. Yeah, I feel very uncomfortable talking about like the things that I'm good at, you know? And I guess that's part of the reason why I'm so bad at selling myself. I feel like I'm being a show off, and I hate being a show off, you know? No one likes a show off, right? And so when I'm sitting there, even though the topic's already there, it'll feel like I will feel like I'm bringing up like what I do out of nowhere, and I'm just trying to force it into conversation. I don't know how many people feel this same way. Maybe everybody feels this way. I don't fucking know. But I know that that's the way that I feel. When, you know, even when someone asks, like, I guess the only way I'll feel okay about it is if someone asks me. If I ever bring it up, that feels weird to me. And it feels like I'm being a show-off, and it feels like I'm being kind of a cunt. You know what I mean? Oh, sorry, YouTube doesn't like that word. Hold on. Cunt. I almost just said some other bad words there that I'm not going to say here on this channel. Yeah, it feels weird to talk about what I'm good at. I don't know. It even feels weird to think about that. Like, am I good at fucking making videos? I don't fucking know. Who cares? Not the point of this video. The point of this video is being connected. So, I made a community post talking about that. And it's like, it's one of those things where I'm like, every time in the past, like, 5 or so years, maybe more, every time I've gone on Twitter, every time I've like looked at the news, every time I've heard about some current event that's going on, I just get upset. And when I say upset, I don't mean like, oh, I'm pissed off and it ruins my day. I'm just sitting there thinking like, I could have gone my whole life without hearing this bit of information. Some people have actually given me shit about that, where it's like, oh, but you need to know what's going on. You got to understand, like, you know, who's in charge and who's this and who's what. And I'm like, do I though? Do I really need to know? Like, I really don't want to know. You know what I want to know? I want to know how to make videos. I want to know how to, you know, do Linux shit. I want to know how to do things I want to do. I want to know how to build keyboards. You know, that's why I build keyboards and shit. Nobody fucking cares about building keyboards except me. And, like, the other few hundred people on the internet, you know? Like, I have extremely niche hobbies, and that's just what I care about. And I don't really give a shit about anything else. You know, I said earlier in the video, I'm kind of in my own little bubble here. So, you know, it's just, it's not something that... Like, I'm not upset about this, you know, but it's just something that always stood out to me. Because that's actually, now that I think about it, that's kind of been a constant throughout my life. Like, there's always, like, I've constantly run into situations like this where it's like, you know, oh, you don't know about this? And I'm like, nah, I don't really give a shit. But it's like, hey, do you want to learn about, like, I don't know, the lore of the show Adventure Time? Do you want to fucking learn about the lore of Bionicle? Hey, I can talk about the deep, intricate differences between linear keys, clicky keys, and tactile keys. And hey, I've got a switch tester at home. You want to see? And that's the funniest part, is when I bring out the switch tester and people start hitting keys. They're like, they're not really like, they don't get it, right? Which makes sense. Who the fuck cares about building a keyboard? They punch on the keys and they're like, oh, they all feel exactly the same, even though a lot of them are pretty different in feel. Whatever, that's just me kind of being a dickhole about it. But yeah, I don't like being connected to things. That's part of the reason why I'm like distancing myself from a lot of things. So if you want to find me on like social media and you want to know like what the fuck's going on with there, you're not gonna find me on social media. If you find me on TikTok or Facebook or what else is there, Tumblr, if you find me on anything, like, I'm gonna make this is really deep into a video, nobody's gonna fucking hear this, but if I guess if you care enough to hear this would apply to you. If you ever see anybody who's claiming to be me on any social media page, I guarantee you it is not me. I use Discord rarely to talk to my friends, and I post here. This is kind of like my vlog channel, I guess. My virtual diary or whatever. Where I can just ramble nonsensically about whatever the fuck was going on in my life. So yeah, I don't use social media at all, because it's not good. Yeah, I genuinely, I've had my Twitter account for like 11 years, and I remember making that Twitter account and being like fascinated by it, because like, oh man, I love watching JonTron and Game Grumps, and I love watching these people. It would be cool to see updates from these people. It'd be cool to see, things like this, like little behind the scenes videos. I remember seeing vines from JonTron and Barry back when Barry was still the editor for Game Grumps, back before the bullshit happened. And that was the coolest fucking thing in the world, to see behind the scenes shit from one of my favorite goddamn channels at the time. Like, that is so cool. And now, and like, I would love to go on Twitter and see these little behind the scenes shorts and all these things people would make and all their other little fucking offhand ideas and everything like that, and follow artists and see their own little like doodles and things like that. Like, it was cool, man. Social media used to be fun and cool, and a lot of things are the reason why social media isn't fun anymore. There's no one particular reason. But I think one of the things that is like the key factor in why I don't enjoy social media anymore is because everybody takes everything so fucking seriously, man. And I don't mean like I don't mean in the sense that, you know, it's like, oh, people aren't allowed to tell jokes anymore, when really people just want to fucking say the N-word and not get in trouble for it. I'm talking like, you know, like everybody is so fucking serious about everything. It's like everything is the end of the world, and everything is the next like downfall of society. Whether you be more red-pilled or blue-pilled, there's always something to complain about. And I fucking know the reason why that this is the case. Is because, okay, let's think about this. Think about social media. How do they make money? How do social media sites make money? They serve you ads, and they steal your data, and they sell it to whoever wants to pay for it. And someone's gonna pay for it. Someone's gonna pay top fucking dollar for some of this information. So that's how they make money. So they want you on the site as long as possible. And how do they get you to stay on the site as long as possible, to dump data into their servers and to see more ads? Here's the answer. They make you angry, because one of the things that makes people way more likely to stick around on a site is if they're mad at something and they're having an argument in the comments, or they're talking with some shitter troll online, or they're doing something. It doesn't matter why you're on the website, even if it's negatively impacting your mental or even physical health. If you are mad, you're gonna stay on the site. That was cool, by the way, what I just did in the game. So that's like my fucking soapbox, I guess, where it's like the whole purpose of these sites' existence is to make you upset and to make you stay on the site for longer. That's why every single creator who's trying to farm views and has no integrity is just out there making people upset about shit. They're just trying to rustle feathers. They're trying to rile people up, because that's what they know that gets clicks. Whether it be some content creator, whether it be Mark Zuckerberg or Elon Musk or whoever the fuck owns whatever bullshit website, it doesn't matter. They're all acting with the same purpose, is to make you mad and stay on the site. And I say no to that. I just don't want to be involved with that cycle. I've been trapped in that cycle for fucking years now, and I'm just tired of it. You know, the pandemic has really put a lot of things in perspective, not just for me, but for a lot of people. And one of the things that I noticed staying inside for 2 years is like, social media just kind of fucking sucks now, doesn't it? And it sucked for a long time. It was just that was the big moment where I'm like, that was like the point in time where I'm just like, I don't want to be on this anymore. I don't want to look at the news. I don't want to be involved with this fucking cyclical bullshit, you know? I don't think it's worth it. And this whole fucking bullshit video is coming from someone being like, wow, you've never heard of Mac Miller before. I fucking hate Paolumu. That's why I did that. So yeah, thanks for listening to whatever the fuck this was. Listening to me rant about social media and how bullshit it is. Telling a bunch of nonsensical stories, talking about music. Oh, by the way, yeah, if you want to listen to a really good album, look up Logic's No Pressure. That is one of my, genuinely, it's now like up there as one of my favorite albums of all time. It's so fucking good. I would highly recommend you listen to it. That's your reward for sticking out for this video as long as you have. You get to hear a banger album after you're done with this. Thanks for sticking around. Have a good one, everybody.